And hello again. So I'm not going to flannel around too much at the beginning of this. I've got the MiSTer plugged in. I've got the latest public release of the PlayStation Core set up, and I'm going to go straight into a few of these games to demonstrate the widescreen hack. So these are all horizontal shooters, which is one of my favourite genres. So let's go into Einhander first. So that's loaded up nice. Now I've got the MiSTer set to non-widescreen, just standard at the moment, so we'll start the game off. Fantastic game, as I'm sure many of you are aware. Absolutely one of my favourite PlayStation games, this. So it's in standard at the moment. Let's pause it. So if you have a look on, say, maybe the edge of the screen there, where you can see some of the details of the background buildings. Let's go into settings. Widescreen hack 16 by 9, so it looks like it's stretching, but as soon as we start, you see we are actually getting more screen real estate rather than just a stretched image, and it looks fantastic. So let's just demonstrate that again. You'll notice that, let's pause it there. So you see those guys on the right hand side of the screen, just flying in. And the lights on the tunnel in the background. And you'll see the lights are now much nearer the edge. Now I've started it proper. So it's definitely working for Einhander. Let's just do another little comparison. Let's turn it back on when we get to some of those signs in the background, shall we? Right, so there's that sign on the right hand saying fuzz there. We'll put widescreen back on. And you see that? See how the sign saying fuzz suddenly came a lot more in, with a lot more buildings visible behind it. So yeah, so as you would expect, the gameplay window is still in 4x3, which means so I can't move any further left than that with my ship, and I can't move any further right on the other side than you normally would expect to if you were still playing in 4x3. So that's my full extent of moving to the right hand side of the screen, and that's my full extent moving to the left. So that basically shows it's working. The impressive thing is that, well, it's different from game to game, but in the case of Einhander, it does draw most of the enemies within the widescreen area, which is really impressive when you think about what the ramifications of that. And see that boss was going right up to the edge of the screen in widescreen hack mode, so we're seeing him being rendered in an area of the game screen where he just wouldn't be if you were playing in 4x3. You'd just be seeing the front of him, and maybe his gun poking in from the side. So that is really, really impressive. It's absolutely amazing how well this works and how easy it is. Unfortunately, I'm dying continuously because I'm talking and not concentrating on the gameplay. But yeah, so that's Einhander. That was working great. Let's go to another game. So another game I was going to do is R-Type Delta. So Einhander and this R-Type Delta are both USA versions. Not that that makes any difference. And we'll just put the widescreen hack back to off for now. So this is another game which does benefit from the widescreen very well, and you can tell straight away even just from the ship selection screen. So this is the ship selection screen. If you look in the top right hand corner there, you can see that there's a look on the right hand side, there's an edge of a ship, and you can see the edge of that ship on the top right corner poking in to the edge of the screen then, bobbing up and down. So if we go to widescreen hack now, and you can see there's a whole hell of a lot more of the ship visible there, so you can tell straight away that that's working brilliantly. And we'll just turn it off and on once or twice more on stage 1 just to show the effects of the widescreen again. So again, the gameplay window is still within a 4x3 area, and you can see with this game, the enemies in this at the beginning at least, the smaller enemies are only appearing within the 4x3 area. Now this big guy here is a different case. He actually did show up in the extended area. So it's quite interesting to see that some enemies and bosses are rendered differently to others. Now this background is rendering the, like the gun emplacements and the background buildings and what have you in the extra area, but it's not, again, the small enemies like those floating little ships there, one of them just hit me, they are only appearing within the 4x3 area. So you're going to be, it's fascinating really to see the different way that this widescreen hack has an effect even on different characters in the game. But yeah, I mean, it's working absolutely perfectly. And again, this is another fantastic game. Another fantastic horizontal PS1 exclusive shmup, which is good a reason as any to play PS1 games, if you ask me. This and Einhander, G.Darius. So let's just turn the widescreen hack off again, just to get a bit of a comparison. Widescreen hack off, game start. Pause the screen, go back in, turn widescreen back on. So let's put it back off. So if you look in the top left, you can see a portion of this boss which is just entering the screen from the top left. So just have a look at how much of that you can see. Get the old widescreen hack back on to 16:9. Start the game, and there immediately you can see, you could immediately see, of course I had to die straight away, didn't I? You could immediately see that you could see a lot more of him. Let's do that again. Right, so go back to widescreen hack off. So that's how much of the enemy at the top left you can see there in normal 4x3. Widescreen hack on 16:9. Start the game, and you can immediately see a lot more of him rendered. So yeah, that's fantastic. So let's go to another game. So we've done R-Type Delta, we've done Einhander. Let's do G.Darius. Another fantastic PS1 game, which has recently been remastered for PS4 and modern consoles. Was also included on a few Taito selections on the Xbox and the PS2, but when it came out on the PS1, it was an exclusive arcade port that was only on the PS1 at the time it came out. Many years ago now. So let's go back to standard 4x3. And we'll start the game. This is a nice quick one to start, thank God. Right. I'll pause it. Right, so let's get some enemies coming on the screen. Right, so have a look at what you can see of the background 3D now. I'll put widescreen on 16:9. So let's just now this one you can see the benefit immediately. I don't know if you noticed before, but the other games I've demoed so far, it looked like it was just going to stretch. It was just stretching the image, but then when you actually come out of the menu, it would reset and would then show you the extra real estate. This one, for whatever reason, I'm going to put it on 16:9 now. If you look at that little red and grey ship on the right hand side of the screen near the edge, we'll go to 16:9, and we're already seeing the benefit of the widescreen, the extra view of the rendered background that you couldn't see before, which is fantastic. So this one really does look great, looks really cinematic, and as you may know, many Darius games, even going back to the original Darius in the arcade, was designed to play in an unusual widescreen aspect, because the original Darius arcade machine had 3 monitors stuck together. Actually, it was one of possibly the first widescreen game ever in the arcade or anywhere else. So it's nice to see the tradition being carried on here with this MiSTer Core widescreen hack. So again, you can see I can only move my ship within the confines of the 4x3 playing area. So that's the furthest I can go to the left. But otherwise, we are definitely seeing more backgrounds that we wouldn't be seeing in 4x3. So this is another, possibly the best example I've found so far of all the games I've tested, of how cool the widescreen hack is. So let's just do another little demonstration of it. Let's turn it off. Widescreen hack off. Immediately I'm thinking I don't want to play it like this. I want to put the widescreen back on. Pause. Widescreen. So let's just see what extra we can see. Right, so if you look on the right hand side there, you can see some of those metal kind of floating tunnel walkway things in the middle of the right hand side of the screen with the blue sky behind. We go to 16:9. Now look, you can see the rock, the mountain on the edge, which you couldn't see before. So with this game, you get immediately you see the benefits of the widescreen hack. So G.Darius is a great one to be trying. Absolutely fantastic. Right, so let's do a couple more games. Now, in case you're wondering what happens with 2D rendered games, so I'm going to try a couple of games which do not use 3D, not in the same way as the ones I've already shown do. So let's try Darius Gaiden first of all. And we'll just wait a while for it to load up. We'll turn widescreen off to start. We'll get the game going. So get a reference point on the right or left hand side of the screen there, and I have not tried this one yet. I'm not presuming that it's going to work on this. It's probably just going to stretch because it is a 2D game, but you never know. Let's see what happens. 16:9 widescreen hack. There's a bit of red in the top right hand corner there where you can see the sky next and behind a blue tower. Go to 16:9, and yes, so in the case of this game it is literally just stretching the screen, which is what you would expect for a game programmed in 2D. So we're not going to get much joy there, I don't think. Let's go to one more game. Let's try Gradius Gaiden, another two-dimensional game. Turn widescreen off. I'm just going to go into the options of this and turn auto fire on. Rapid shot. X. Right. One player. These standard options here. Okay. So, as I said, this is a 2D rendered game. Another fantastic game. Really is a fantastic game, this one. And this one is a true PS1 exclusive. As far as I know, it still is, unless it came out of Virtual Console or something like that. I don't think it did. But I'm always wrong. Whenever I make these sweeping generalisations, I usually say something wrong. I'm pretty sure it's never been released on any of the big consoles now, like PS4, with any remasters anywhere there or anything. Right, so pause the game. So you can see those enemies, say in the bottom right hand corner there, those gun emplacements right on the edge. We'll go into widescreen, 16:9, and okay, as I presumed, we're not getting any benefit from the hack on this game either. So it will only work on 3D rendered games. Does beg the question with games that are kind of a mixture of 2D and 3D, doesn't it? Maybe I'll do another video in that regard and see if we can get any weird effects. Say games where the background is 2D but the characters are 3D polygons, or vice versa, where the background is 3D polygons and the character sprites are 2D bitmaps. Be interesting to see what kind of results you get with the widescreen hack on games like that. But anyway, I think that was a fairly good example of the widescreen hack on this absolutely fantastic new MiSTer core, which is now public release. I've got nothing but extreme gratitude for all the people, obviously, that have gone into making this, and way above and beyond the Call of Duty for a fan scene such as MiSTer. These people doing this stuff, they're doing God's work. Anyway, thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you again on the next one.